Sometime during the week, or when I prepared this earlier, I called this redemption on the road to salvation. It changed. It became resurrection on the road to salvation. If you want, you can change it in your mind. Signs. The elevator is out for service. Please use the elevator. These are real signs. That'll be particularly appropriate today. We're going to go over today, so just take your watches off. I'm going to tell you that right now. Signs. They are meant to help us, right? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Signs indicate something significant, an important change that will come or is already evident. We often say, it's a sign of the times. Or, there's that crazy comedian who has the punchline, "Here's your sign." It's Bill Engvall. It's Bill Engvall, and I'll tell you a quick joke. Here, I'll do it like him. So me and my wife, we moved into a new apartment, and I have family from North Carolina, so I'm legitimate to talk like this. So we moved into a new apartment, and we put our piano over in the corner, and big grand. And so we got some new neighbors that came over, and they looked, and they went in and said, "Oh, is that your piano?" And I looked at her, and I said, No, that's our dining room table, but it has buck teeth. Here's your sign. Well, in John's Gospel, there are signs. There are signs. Some might call them miracles, but John thought of them as signs, indications to all, but the disciples in particular, and the world in general, then and now, that Jesus was more than just a gifted human being. John's intention in telling the story of Jesus Christ was to make it clear that through the signs that he performed, Jesus showed that he was one with God, that he was God among them. In John's Gospel, there are, in fact, 7 signs, or 8, depending upon how you count them. There was changing the water into wine. There was healing the Roman son in Capernaum, the official son. The paralytic in Bethesda. Feeding the 5,000. Walking on water. Healing the man blind from birth. And today, the raising of Lazarus. Of course, you know what the next one will be. His own resurrection. Each sign spread the word about Jesus throughout Israel. Each sign raised questions about who he was and by what authority his power came and what intentions he had for his future. By the time Jesus was called to raise Lazarus, the hopes of the people had been raised to such a high point that their time of being, this time that they lived, was terribly needy for them. They were oppressed by 3 layers. And none of those layers had their ruler, their well-being at heart. Those layers, you know them, there were the Romans, right? There was their own Jewish king, and then there were the high priests. And none of them were in favor of the Jewish people. And they all worked together. All three of them were in conspiracy together against the people. The details of those three branches of corruption that were all in place for over 100 years by the time Jesus came along are fascinating, just fascinating. But it was into this hopelessness and despair that Jesus was born and began his ministry. And Jesus brings these signs, his visible symbols of God's physical presence among them. Would you trade your life now for life then? Would you? No. I mean, sometimes in various things, in Bible studies or along the way, I hear people talk about how dangerous life is now and how difficult things are now. And I say, no, it was much worse then. They were dangerous, violent times, much worse than now. And into that time, Jesus preached his message of love and forgiveness and acceptance. If you think it sounds radical and difficult now, it was more radical and difficult then. He had power. Of course he did. The signs showed that he was more than an ordinary person with an unusual message. He was God. He was God Emmanuel. And he went to the tomb of Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days. That was by design. We heard it in the story. Unbelievable, right? Not the way we'd have done it. But to the people, that meant that Lazarus' spirit had left his body and moved on. To them, it meant no hope. Jesus came, and Jesus wept. He had compassion for Lazarus, who he loved, and for the sisters. God has compassion for us in our suffering and our grief, no matter how it seems to us. And then Jesus ordered the stone be rolled away. Now, obviously, that's a foreshadowing of his own soon-to-come death and resurrection. And just as God spoke creation into being, Jesus speaks Lazarus back to life. He says, Lazarus, come out. Just the words. Now, there are burial cloths that bind Lazarus, and Jesus just orders him to be unbound so that he can be set free. On Easter, Jesus' burial cloths will be found in the tomb. And then John simply tells us that many of those who were there came to believe. What did they believe? Well, earlier Jesus had told them not that he was going to perform a resurrection. He told them that he was the resurrection. More than that, he told them that whoever believed in him, even though they died, they would have eternal life. More than that, he told them that those who live and believe in him would never die, but they would have eternal life. That's another completely different thing. And if you try to take that literally, pretty hard to understand. But if you understand that Christ is telling them about the deepest kind of faith, the truest kind of trust and love of God, and what it means is that no matter what is happening around us on earth, no matter what is assailing us, no matter what our fears are, because of our faith in God, we are and will be alive in Christ, now and forever. Eternity starts now and goes forever. You never die. In Lazarus, Jesus gave his seventh sign, his own resurrection. Not long away will be his eighth and most important. But it was not before he gathered those disciples and created us, the church, Christ's church, to continue his work and to continue to do the signs. Christians, us, are meant to be resurrection people because we believe in the sovereignty of God, a God who loves the world, the whole world, not just in some places and not just some people. For God so loved who?
The world.
Again, please?
The world.
Good. For God so loved the world. Because we believe in this God who loves with grace more than judgment, ready to save more than condemn. Our God is ready to heal more than harm, ready to forgive more than abandon. We are to be godly. We are to be Christ-like. How can we do that as flawed as we are? Now, we can try to improve on a personal level, of course. We can tinker. We can also try to bring resurrection to the world. That's what we're called to do. Now, we can't bring dead people back to life. We're not going to be able to do that. I don't think so. But we can resurrect other things. We can. We can work together to resurrect lives. You know what I mean by that? Yeah? Yes. We can resurrect lives. Maybe we can't resurrect a life, but we can resurrect lives. We can resurrect those who have been in prison. We can help resurrect those who have had addictions. We can resurrect those who need a new start. We can resurrect young people who need a new beginning. We can help those who have begun organizations, like work done by the YOC, started right by our own Steve Caldemeyer here in this congregation. Or young women who have had unwanted pregnancies, too young. We can help them. We can help resurrect families, building houses for Habitat for Humanity. We can work for Christian ministries or A Better Way. There are many nonprofit organizations who desperately need volunteers and desperately need funding. They need it now, and they are going to need it more in coming months as the burden of funding is already being shifted to local communities and local individuals and local churches. As budget cuts are beginning to be put in, they are going to need more help from us. We Christians need to be ready to put our energy and our resources where our theology is. Yes? We need to do what we say we believe, especially when the ball gets passed back to us. And I believe as we watch those budget cuts and programs disappear, and they are disappearing and they will disappear, this will be a wonderful opportunity for Christians everywhere to demonstrate just what being a Christian really means. For God so loved the world that Jesus Christ came to show us how to live, how to bring resurrection, not just Lazarus, but to all who need resurrection on the road to salvation.